going on, everyone? Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a good day so far. Today we're going to be talking about Flash 768 and Flash 769. I'm just going to do a quick recap and then go over my review on it. Honestly, not too bad. 768 was a little on the downside. 769, a little better. But talking about 768, opens up with Wally deciding he wants to quit. He doesn't want to be a superhero anymore. He wants to focus on his family, and that's respectable. That's a good job. Good for him. Um, Immediately, Barry goes in and says, "You can't do that," and that's kind of weird. I feel like Barry would be more accepting, more like, "Hey, if you made your decision, you made your decision. You can always come back to us." That's more of what I think Barry would say, but he doesn't. And then Ollie comes in, Green Arrow, and he's the one that's like, hey, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. Let him go. But he's saying it from a kind of negative place. He's being accepting of it, but he's kind of saying like he killed Roy, and I don't want him here. Is basically what I got from it, and um, at least he's not like treating Wally like a pariah. Like, nah, what am I trying to say here? He's not trying to shun Wally or anything like that. He understands like it wasn't really his fault, but the fact is he is a threat, and he does need to get his head straight before he's going to continue doing any kind of heroing or anything like that. But after a little bit of discussion, Wally or Barry comes back and he does, he's like, all right, well, this is your decision. It is what it is. Then the way that Wally wants to just stop, instead of just stopping cold turkey, yeah, that's the saying, right? I don't know. He's come up with a plan for Barry and him to run, as fast as they can, and for Barry to siphon the Speed Force away from Wally, which is kind of crazy. I did not expect that. If I ever had that power, even if I didn't want to use it, I would still keep it. Like just in case. I don't know if I could just call it quits like that far. But so they end up going to the streets, and the citizens are savage. They're like, oh man, you would think they would have better bodies with all that running, and other people they're saying like, oh, it's just a bunch of cosplayers. Who knows, whatever. But they are about to start their final race. As they're running, they take off. As they're running, they're stopping a bunch of a crime from happening from as low as like petty robberies to as high as Ocean Master. They're just they're doing their run. I was noticing in the art that Wally for sure has better form in his running. He's more in a leaned forward position, whereas Barry is kind of like his back is too straight for running. I don't know. That's just a little small detail, but I liked it. Then something weird starts to happen, and Wally disappears. His costume is there, but there is no physical body. And then Barry realizes that he doesn't have his powers now. So they're in the middle. He's in the middle of France, and so he gets Ollie to pick him up, and even after picking him up and stuff, Barry is pretty hostile towards Ollie. He knows that Ollie is not Wally's biggest fan right now. He knows that he holds some kind of resentment towards him, so he's still hostile towards him. And I understand that hostility, but at the same time, it's like, man, this guy just picked you up. Took time out of his day, fly out here to France to pick you up. The least you could say is thank you, But it is what it is. Then we go over to Wally, where he's in the prehistoric era. He's seeing dinosaurs, and then he notices in the reflection of a river that he's not in his own body. He's a caveman, which I understood as like one of the first speedsters in the timeline, and we're going back and forth. So you see Wally in prehistoric area, and then we're talking to Barry, and Barry is noticing that Max, Jay, and Wallace have all lost their powers as well. They only included Max, Jay, and Wallace, but I would assume Avery is in there too. I think they just forget about her. So I assume that Avery lost her power too. So then we go back to Barry. Barry is talking to Mr. Terrific because he's a smart guy, right? Why not? So they're trying to figure out how to find Wally, how to get in contact with him, and they start to form a theory where they think that the Speed Force is kind of just lashing out and trying to heal itself, and in order to heal itself, it took Wally West and is using him as a conduit to fix whatever's wrong with the Speed Force at the moment. Um, there's a small little part there where Barry and Mr. Terrific they start thinking, they both put like their hand under their chin, and they're just like in think mode, and Ollie's like, yeah, that's pretty cute, and they immediately like, oh yeah, that's not the point right now, and it was pretty funny. I feel like Ollie, even in issues 768 and 69, Ollie is there really for the readers, because he's gonna dumb everything down. Everything that they talk about, it just starts going straight over my head. I have no idea any of the scientific jargon that they start throwing out there, and he just kind of brings it down to earth. But anyways, moving on. Then we go back to where Barry tries to send a message. That's one of the theories. I cannot tell you how the science works or anything like that, but uh, they somehow are able to make a communication between Wally and themselves. And so he tries to send a message, and at first it's a little staticky and stuff, but they fix it, and so now Wally can talk to Barry. Barry's being chased by a dinosaur, a raptor, and that raptor got affected by some Speed Force, and it's just as fast as Wally. So he's kind of distracted at the moment. He's running around everywhere trying to get away from it. So then at one point, I can't really remember. Barry says, "I'm gonna do blank." I forgot. He's gonna do something, but it turns out that it's gonna be reckless. And Ollie's like, "No, I'm not. I guess this is why I'm here, because I'm gonna stop you from being reckless. You're doing something dumb in order to save someone." And Barry tries to say, like, if you could save Roy, you would do the same. But acknowledges that he is being a little reckless, so he stops that plan. Ollie and Barry there's something there it didn't happen in 768 or 769, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some kind of blow up moment between them, because they are butting heads back over and over. Then Wally starts to say something about the dinosaur exploding, and he assumes that the Speed Force doesn't have full control of itself. After the dinosaur explodes, Wally is sent into the future inside Impulse's body, Bart, and he's there with Gold Beetle, and they're being chased by a Dominator, and that's how it ends. This issue here, 5 out of 10, honestly, for me. Again, Flash has been on a downward spiral ever since. Let me see. I don't know. I just think the last couple of issues just have been down. Like I haven't really had fun with it or anything. So this one, 5 out of 10. I enjoyed it for what it was, but nothing is really happening other than Wally being taken around through time. We do meet Gold Beetle here, and then we go more into it in 769, but I don't know. It's just not catching my attention. But then we get into 769, and I'll do my review for that one first, and then I'll recap it. But 769, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because we start having fun again. I'm no longer like, oh, Wally killed people. Wally's upset about it. He can't have his family. Barry is not making the right decisions. The future state of Flash, that was so depressing. Like everything about those two issues was just not good. And then before that, that's what I'm talking about. It's just Flash was not good. So here we're having fun, and I appreciate having fun. again with the Flash title, um, and it does pique my interest. Some of the things that are happening. There's a little bit too much science in there. Mr. Terrific and Barry start going in there and start talking, and again, Ollie is there to dumb it down. It's like, oh, it's just like a TV, right? And Mr. Terrific is like, you're oversimplifying it, but yeah, that's essentially what we're doing, and I'm so grateful for Green Arrow right there. Um, the art by Brandon Peterson and LaFuente. I was gonna say at the beginning I didn't like it, but it does grow on me. I think it's the whole Impulse and Wally West being in Impulse's suit just doesn't look. He's too bulky. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was too much for me. But the more I read, the more I was like, yeah, this is pretty good art. Not the best, not the worst. Definitely better than me. Who I'm having fun. So 7 out of 10 for this 769. 769. It does start back with Barry showing that he does have his speed powers again. They explain that by saying that once that dinosaur exploded, it kind of helped the Speed Force equal out, find some kind of equilibrium. But then it found like a weak spot where Impulse was, because he had like that dampener collar, power dampener collar on, and so I guess that's the next spot that Wally needs to fix. But once the dinosaur exploded, Barry did get his powers back, not fully, but he did. And then we start seeing the plan that Mr. Terrific and Flash have to get visual on Wally. So now not only can he hear them, but they can see him. Gold Beetle is shown to be pretty smart, but she's also really, really energetic, just all over the place. Perfect teammate for Impulse, right? She sees that Wally is talking to somebody, but obviously not talking to her, and that was really rude of Wally. He's over there just talking to Barry and like completely ignoring anything that Gold Beetle's saying. So Gold Beetle catches on pretty quick. She just does some future scientific stuff and is able to catch that frequency that Barry is talking to Wally with, and now she can hear and immediately picks up. She's like, oh my god, you're not Bart, you're Wally West. And she's like apparently a huge Wally West fan, so she's excited. While they're there, Wally comes up with a plan. I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. That Dominator is attacking the whole town. I'm assuming it's the future Central City, and they figured out that the Speed Force kind of went into that, and that it affected his physiology differently. So he, instead of getting super speed or anything like that, like the dinosaur did, this time the Dominator became really big. He just grew in size. So in order to stop it, Wally says he needs a device that Inertia used on Barry. So Barry puts it in a time capsule that's found in the Flash Museum. It's pretty cool, one of those things about time, where Barry goes into the Flash Museum, where Mr. Terrific's like, you don't have a secret entrance to come in here, and he said, well, not really, because he usually speeds through, right? He doesn't need a secret entrance, but Mr. Terrific is being pretty logical here. Common sense is like, hey, you should probably think about doing that, And they go to the time capsule where Barry puts the device that Inertia used on him, and then we go back to the future, and Gold Beetle and Wally are going to the Flash Museum. Here's one thing I don't really understand, is that they have to break into the Flash Museum. Why? It's a museum. I don't know what's going on in the future that makes them that they need to break in. But yeah, so Wally's like, I'm just gonna speed in there real quick, get stuff, get out. And Gold Beetle's like, whoa, hold on, the Flash Museum does have security measures against speedsters, 100% against speedsters, because that's really the only people breaking into here. So we need to do something else. I have a plan. And she just crashes into the building, where a bunch of Flash robots show up. They're like, hey, halt, intruder alert. But they really don't do anything. and I feel kind of bad for them. They're like, oh, they say we messed up again. Like it's kind of like they're self-aware in the fact that they aren't really good at security, but they did what they needed to, I guess. Who knows? Either way, Wally gets a thing, throws it into the Dominator's mouth. Everything works. The Speed Force gets siphoned away from the Dominator, and as that works, that means Wally is about to leave and go into the next weakened spot. Either it has to be a weakened spot because they don't know where his body is. So they think basically Wally is a ghost right now. Again, simplified thanks to Green Arrow. But yeah. So Wally is leaving. Wally is about to go, and as he's leaving, the Gold Beetle, gives him a hug. He's like, "Thanks, I had a great time. I loved it. See you later, Captain. I'm always here for you if you need anything." And at that point, Wally whispers something in her ear, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I am finally curious on what's gonna happen in the future of the Flash, future issues. I want to know what he whispered. Now, what could he have possibly have to ask her? I don't even have any theories on what it could be, but it's a little seed planted, so I like that. But again, just to go back to it, nothing is happening that's so just deep. Like he's not concentrated on his mistakes that he did in Heroes in Crisis. He's not concentrated. He has his family back, so he's not concentrating on getting them back. Barry is in a good place. He's just trying to help him out right now, but he's not like, oh, I need to do everything alone, blah blah blah. It's fun. It's fun again, and that's what I'm excited about. The Flash is finally fun again. And to add to that fun, Wally does get propelled. And this time, instead of going to the future, he goes back in the past to World War II era, and he's inside of Jay Garrick's body now. And the first thing he sees is Hitler with the Spear of Destiny, and it's like, oh, that's not something you want to see, right? So that's how it ends. Again, 7 out of 10. I like that. I'm excited for the next issue. I can't wait to read it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm being too harsh on the Flash? Put a comment down below if you think I'm being too nice about it. Let me know. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please subscribe. And check out the Spotify. I will be putting this on Spotify as well. Manny Reach Comics. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. And see you later.